Welcome to How I Shot This, brought to you by APA DC. Today we're speaking with Scott Montgomery. He's a commercial photographer and director in New York. He's an APA New York member, and some of his clients include State Street Corporation, Abbott Laboratories, Procter & Gamble, and Memorial Sloan Kettering. And I'm really excited to talk to Scott today about a couple images from his project called Frontier. Scott, I'd love for you to tell me about the image of the woman drinking coffee by the fridge. What was behind this story?
Well, first of all, thanks for reaching out. I love the APA and have been involved for a long, long, long time. This project, The Final Frontier, really came out of this necessity for us as still shooters to find a way to show motion production and me starting to write scripts. So I wanted blended content space where I could create a script or a story and shoot it in stills and create a motion piece that was a personal piece and show them side by side as like, I can do both, right? A lot of people claim to shoot motion, but they're not really directing. So a producer I work with quite frequently, Janet Henderson of Zinc Productions, is from Maine. And small story, I was born in Maine. Dad was in the Air Force. And she took me up there. We had some space, the location, and we looked around that area and I fell in love with it. From there, we started hunting around and we found that house location in the shot with the woman. It was listed on Airbnb. And this is often how I work, is locations are a character, just like a person is a character for me. And I often will start my ideas location first. So we fell in love with this house. It was a 10-minute boat ride off the shore. The light inside was 125 years old. Right? There's no electricity. We knew we had to supplement what was there, but we didn't want to lose the character of it. And we spent a year looking for what ended up being Taylor, this woman in the shot. We motorboat everybody out to this island. It's a private island. And we start in on this. I have a really strong belief that my lighting should not overtake the scene, that a viewer, regardless of whether they understand it or can articulate it, if I really softbox light a person, they're being lit. No one walks around in life with a 3x4 foot softbox on them. Like it just, and a lot of my portfolio has very much been niched in these very real life moments. So the lighting is very much a part of that. If it's overlit, all of a sudden it takes it out. It feels posed. I've moved also to continuous lighting. The last 15 years, I can shoot strobe, but I almost never shoot strobe anymore. I'll use sun and bounce. I will use LED. I'll use HMI. The highlights are rounder and softer, and it's more easy to blend with the natural light. So almost everything in my portfolio is done this way. I would much rather underlight someone and then open their eye sockets up or open up the shadows in post than I would overlight them. And now you feel the light and it starts to call attention to itself, right? So it's a whole stylistic approach that fits within the core values of what I want to try to get across in the characters that I shoot. In lighting, I'm always having, when I'm working with new assistants, to tone down the fill, to pull back, to not, they want to do their job, right? They want to lay that light in. They want to make it look pretty. And it can be look pretty, but the second it starts to be too much, to me, it's a disconnect. It's a sell. We had to really tone down the LEDs that were in that room. We're running off of Jenny, right? Because she literally made coffee. We wanted to see the steam, and the only way to get that was the window light. The projector guy um, is really in her, the character she is as an author, and she's writing this character. So I knew I wanted this old, we found this old vintage projector. They're hot and the bulbs smell, and like that projector light was a part of the mood of it, right? It had to be dark enough outside, but we knew I didn't want it to be inside. Like it's the old hang a sheet against the wall kind of. We shot that in Savannah, Georgia. Found this great location that was like this super old building, and this more hipster guy that's almost character-y in itself. But same thing, I'm just barely laying enough light in there so it doesn't spoil the mood of, hey, I just stepped inside this guy's world. The lighting supports the story. It's not first. And that's kind of how I approach everything.
Awesome, man. This was really great to talk.